Some of the common questions I have come into the extension office is how to prune my tomatoes. Well, it depends upon the training system and the trellising system that you're using on your tomatoes.
Right here, we have the central leader or single leader system, and this system requires a lot of pruning for tomato growers. And so what you'll do is you will prune off every additional volunteer branch that goes all the way up the central leader or the single stem. So right here we have the single stem, and we're going to trace that up. And at each individual branch crotch right here, where we're going to point out, is that we have a leaf, and then we have the central leader, and right there is a sucker or a volunteer branch. We're going to prune that off, and we're going to continue this process all the way up the plant. We're just going to toss those individual suckers away. So as we continue going up here I'm going to demonstrate at this branch crotch an example of a sucker that's a little bit too big to be taking out by your fingers. So right there is going to be our individual sucker that we're going to take out. So we're going to come in with the pruners, and we're going to knock that off. Again, this is a little bit too big of a sucker or a branch takeoff by just pinching off. So we're going to go up the branch again, and or up the single leader, and I'm going to take off another sucker right here. And then we're going to go up a little bit further here, and again, we're going to demonstrate here. This is a branch too big to take off by pinching off. So right there is the single leader. Now is the leaf. That's the branch, and we're going to knock off that branch right there. So now we're going to pin it to the stake. In this example here, this is the cage system. And the cage system does not necessarily require any pruning at all. All you simply do is tuck the branches in as the plant grows up the cage. But some folks feel that pruning off additional branches closer to the ground actually helps with airflow and avoid disease. And so there you have it.
Over here, what we have is the Florida basket weave, and this is also a system that you don't necessarily need to prune any tomatoes on, but again, some folks feel that pruning some of the plants or some of the branches off at the base increase airflow, and you can see that here with this plant here. We have just two individual branches within the first foot of the plant, so you can see there's a lot of airflow down here. Over here we have another plant that has a lot of individual branches close to the base, and this can limit airflow. And so what a person can do if they wanted to prune their tomatoes off at the base, again, this isn't necessarily required, but you can come down and look at the individual branch over here. This is the main leader of the tomato, and we have this individual sucker or branch, and all you do is simply pull that off. Sometimes the branches are a little bit larger and you'll need to use a pruners. But for the most part, as your tomatoes grow, you can simply knock those individual little branches off. Here's another little baby one. Another little baby branch right there. And then that way, things are kind of cleaned up around the base and allows a little bit more airflow down there so that your tomatoes hopefully won't have as much disease.